Good morning, dear students. This is Dr. Lata, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics. In today's class, you are going to learn about fundamentals of quantum mechanics. Now, on the slide, you are able to see new materials, that is advanced materials. Yes, there has been a tremendous advancement in all spheres of science and technology in the past few decades, and in particular, those fields like computers, communications, and aerospace all require newer and newer materials for their development. And thus when we want to select a material for the particular application, and it is very much essential to study the properties of the materials. Now the properties of those materials can be very well explained or very well explored or very well revealed by knowing about the free electrons, that is by knowing about the movement of free electrons, their behavior of free electrons, putting together as a tunneling effect, their energy distribution of free electrons, and then energy level of free electrons. So all these terms, by knowing all these terms, you can very well easily explore the properties and behavior of advanced materials. Now, for your understanding, free electrons are nothing but valence electrons which are ready to knock out when you give even a small amount of external energy. So, putting together the tunneling effect, energy distribution, energy level will give the idea about quantum physics. So, now broadly speaking, free electron theory, that is the theory which explains the behavior of free electrons, was developed in 3 stages. Now what you see on the slide is a stage 1, that's called as a very old stage, which is classical free electron theory. Now the classical free electron theory that treats the electrons as an electron gas. This model was developed by Drude, and now you can see the animated picture of free electrons, the movement of free electrons here. And these electrons are very free and they move like the molecules of the gas, and hence in this theory valence electrons or the free electrons are called as a electron gas. Okay, now we are moving into stage 2, which is called as a quantum free electron theory. This theory was developed by Sommerfeld, and here the electron is treated as a wave as well as a particle. And now moreover, this electron, in this theory the electron is supposed to move in a constant potential. Okay, so in the visualization effect you are seeing an electron is being treated as a wave. That is a wave nature of electron, you can see very clearly. In the third stage is nothing but zone theory. It was developed by the scientist Bloch, and here the electron is supposed to move only in a periodic potential. Now stage 2 and stage 3, they are very much responsible for the development of advanced electronics. Okay, now as our syllabus is confined, we are moving into only the quantum free electron theory, which is based upon the quantum concepts. So now we'll be learning about some of the important quantum concepts which are used to explain many of the physical phenomena in the atomic scale. The first and the foremost is nothing but radiation. I can say it as an electromagnetic wave or the radiation, or simply I can call it as a light. Okay, so this light consists of small packets of discrete energy. So here I am mentioning discrete, meaning it is not continuous, it is discrete. Okay, discrete energy. And this discrete energy is called as a quanta, and this quantas, they contain the energy as a photons. So light particles carries energy called as a photons in the order E is equal to h nu. Okay, so that is the first point. Radiation consists of small packets of energy called as a quanta in the terms of E is equal to h nu. Now here comes this second point, very important point. Now look at here, from the slide you can see the energy level diagram. Now there are 2 energy level diagrams given. One denotes absorption, the other one denotes the emission. Now look at here, E1 is the lower energy level and E2 is the higher energy level. Here atom, usually they'll be at the lower energy level. When the atom is being irradiated with the photon, it absorbs the photon. Look at here, it absorbs photons of energy E is equal to h nu, and it moves to the higher energy level. Okay, so here I say that the absorption of energy, the absorption of photons takes place in the order E is equal to h nu. Now coming over to higher energy level, they cannot stay longer as their lifetime is very short. They come back to its original state. While returning, they emit photons of energy E is equal to h nu. This is called emission process. So either emission or absorption both takes place in the order E is equal to h nu. So that is your second point, that is emission of radiation or absorption of radiation takes place only in the order of E is equal to h nu. Okay, now the next slide, this is very important, very important point, that is the electron is treated as a wave. See what I am saying, mind the words, electron is treated as a wave. That is, this quantum concept is saying entire universe, that is I am treated as a wave, you are treated as a wave, the book is treated as a wave. Entire universe is composed of radiations. Radiations consist of atoms and molecules, and those atoms and molecules are treated as a wave. And now in addition to that, they also shows the particle nature, which is called as a wave particle duality. So it shows both wave and particle dual nature. So now look at here, the picture shows that the particle nature as well as the wave nature. Okay, so at a time it shows only one nature, either it can be a particle or it can be a wave. It cannot show both nature at a time. If you happen to measure that, that will end in an error, that is called as a Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So now as of now, just understand that electron can behave as a, can exhibit dual nature, one as a wave and the other one as a particle. Now again look at here, we are considering an electron whose mass is of m and which is moving with velocity v. So as per the quantum concept, the electron is showing a wave nature. Look at here, it is showing a wave nature with, it is moving with velocity v. Now whenever a wave motion is being encountered, automatically wave parameters should also come over it. So those wave parameters are nothing but wavelength, frequency and momentum. Okay, so if any body is moving, certainly it possesses momentum, likewise here also. Okay, so now here coming to the matter waves, look at here, the matter is nothing but atoms and molecules, or either I can call it as electrons, or it can be protons, or it can be neutrons, any particle in an atomic scale. Those particles are treated as a wave, and when it is treated as a wave is being associated with them. So those waves are called as a matter waves. So here the waves associated with material particle, or the wave associated with the electron, or the wave associated with proton, those are called as a matter waves or material waves. Since it was observed by de Broglie, it is also called as a de Broglie waves. And one more name is there, that's called as a pilot wave. Okay. Now look at here, how to arrive at, and he is a scientist, de Broglie. Now from the simple concept, that is it shows dual nature, it exhibits both as a wave as a particle. Now we have E is equal to mc squared when a wave is when a particle nature is being shown, that is E is equal to mc squared, and here when it is showing a wave nature, we have equation E is equal to h nu. So when you are equating both equations and substituting nu is equal to c by lambda, when you substitute you get lambda equal to h by mc, which is nothing but h by p. Okay, mc is nothing but mv, which is equal to p. So this is the way we have to obtain de Broglie wavelength, which shows that wavelength of matter waves or wavelength of material particles. Now, as we have derived, look at here, as we have derived wavelength of electron, we can also derive the equation for those matter waves. Okay, and that was given by the great scientist Schrödinger. Please remember his name, Schrödinger. Like classical mechanics, we have Newton's first law, second law, and third law, which is a basic and fundamental equation to state the law of motion of any particle, right? Any object. Likewise, the Schrödinger wave equation, it's a fundamental expression in quantum mechanics. Okay, and it is used to explain every physical observation in the atomic scale. Now let's look at here. This is a electron. Imagine that he is an electron and he can move like a wave nature. Now as he is moving, for example, at t is equal to 1 second, he may be at this position, which is given by x1. At t is equal to 2 second, he may be at this position, that is given by x2. Okay, so position, the variation of position with respect to time. Okay, the variation of position with respect to time is called as a psi, which is a wave function, that is a function of a wave, right? The Schrödinger wave equation involves psi, which is a function of position and time. Now coming to Schrödinger wave equation, there are two types of Schrödinger wave equation. One is Schrödinger time independent and time dependent. What I have quoted here is a time independent equation. So it can be read as d squared psi by dx squared plus 8 pi squared m by h squared into e minus v into psi is equal to 0. Psi is a wave function, as I told you. Psi depends upon the position. Psi depends upon the position x comma t, the position of a particle at particular time, and x is the position, m is the mass of the particle, and h is the Planck's constant, E is the total energy, and V is the potential energy. Okay. Now, the next class, let's see about how these people, a group of scientists, have proved that electron also possess the wave nature. It has been proved by Davison and Germer, both scientists. Let's see in the next class. Thank you.